You have no idea how good it's about to get. No idea. This is coming through very, very strongly. And what's coming through for you, what's going to be literally landing in your lap, so to speak, is what I'm hearing, is going to be beyond what you thought was possible. And it's because you're choosing yourself. It's because you are staying in the moment, present, choosing yourself, and playing in the frequency of fun and joy and what lights you up. I just hopped off of an Embody the Empress call a couple of hours ago, and it was like a 2 hour conversation that just felt like two girlfriends talking, quantum shifting, calibrating, and activating. And it was just like so potent and so powerful. And one thing that I was sharing that came through very clearly today in multiple different ways. And in fact, even the last week, this has been dropping in, which is also a little bit of why I haven't put out as many videos this week as I typically do, is because I was really guided to go inward and create from a fresh slate. And so what's really interesting is today there was a synchronicity around a different call that I was on, a different mastermind call, and I was very much mirroring back to me the frequency of fun, the frequency of joy, the frequency of being in the moment and doing less in order to achieve more. So this is shedding that performance identity, that identity that needs to figure everything out and the old ways of doing things. And anyways, before I have like multiple stories coming in, the one today was um, mirroring back this energy of fun. And this has been coming through for like I said, since the last 2 weeks, like very strongly, frequency of fun and play and being in your joy and trusting in that and allowing the downloads to come through, the creative sparks of insight, and having the courage to take action on those. So I say this in many different ways all the time because honestly, you can resonate with a lot of titles and you can resonate with a lot of videos that say you're going to be catapulted into your highest timeline and that you get paid to exist and you get to live your dream life and all these things. And this is a potential timeline for you that you are already entangled with. But there are a lot of people that watch those videos that that's not going to be their reality. And it's because you didn't choose it, because you didn't declare it, because you didn't lock it in as your frequency, as your signal. So we're going to talk about that. But as I was jumping off of that call and going to my morning workout before Embody the Empress, I was guided to drive down the normal way I always drive and park where I always park. For like the last like 4 years, I've always parked in this one row. And I always get like a very similar parking spot right in that one vicinity. Today, all the spots were taken and the parking lot was like full. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to drive a little bit further down this down the parking lot, which is going to put me further from the door and all this other kind of stuff. And uh, either way, like there was one spot left towards the end, but the person was then double. I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to grab it. And then it was double parked. So it was like taking up both spots. And at first I was like, I got annoyed for like a split second. And then I was like, clicked back in. I was like, all right, there must be something. There's some divine reason that I'm being guided to park elsewhere today and go a different direction. I must be guided to loop around. So I looped around, parked further from the door, did it like a little loop and parked the opposite direction that I would have. So my vehicle is now facing a different direction. And no sooner than I had that thought, like I must be divinely guided to park somewhere else today for a reason. And then as I park, it's 3:03 on the clock right now. Threes are very significant for you if you're resonating with this and you resonate with threes, and this message is for you. Um, as I park, the license plate says something like fun. What did it say? Um, it said loves fun, loves fun. So this frequency of fun, the frequency of following your joy and getting paid to exist, getting paid to be you, getting paid to live free and play and in the flow and have fun and following your joy. This is the reality that you're stepping into if this resonates with you, but you have to choose it. You have to show up for it. You have to discern where you're giving your power away by tuning to a signal that is not rooted in joy, fun, or play. So we're going to talk about that. But this metaphor that I'm sharing, this synchronicity, was so beautiful because it literally had me breaking free from the habitual pattern and the old ways of doing things. Literally, like I said, I've driven down this path for over 4 years. I've always parked in the same spot. It was comfortable. It's what I've always known. It felt good. It felt good to always park there. I was agitated when I didn't get to park there because I was breaking free from the pattern. I was breaking free from the conditioned pattern, the one way of always doing something, and realizing in the moment that I must be divinely guided elsewhere. So completely accepting and surrendering to that. And then no sooner do I say that, I pop up on a license plate that says loves fun. And this is directly piggybacking like 10 minutes prior being on my own mastermind call with others that are in the frequency of fun and playing and creating from their God essence, their goddess energy, and elevating, calibrating to a higher frequency. And we all shared the same thing. So it's really fun to see this mirrored back that we can't do it the old way. It doesn't feel good to do it the old way. It doesn't feel good to do it in whatever way you're used to. And so apply this how it resonates. Because if something is not working out that you're pouring a lot of your energy into or your focus into because pieces of it light you up, and it's not working out in the way that you had hoped or thought or the way that you know that it could in your heart, then it's because it's not meant to. And it's because there's an easier, more fun, more in the flow, more expansive, more joyful way to play with reality. This is about co-creating your highest divine reality. That's what this transmission is about. That's what all my other transmissions point to ultimately is living and embodying your divine reality. And all potential timelines are available to you right now. So when you're listening to something or you're tuned into, let's say, like some kind of like tarot video or something like that that's showing you some kind of timeline, I would suggest possibly not tuning into that and realizing that that's just one possible timeline among infinite number of timelines, and take all your power back and create the timeline that feels most resonant for you, because you have all the power. You are the power source and you get to co-create this reality, but it's going to be something new that is birthed through you that is going to be completely different than what you would have thought or completely beyond what you could have planned for. It's going to be done in a new way that feels like more alignment, more joy, and more fun. And so part of this process of collapsing timelines and moving into your highest frequency timeline is being able to trust in the present moment what is lighting you up and following that frequency of fun and joy. And so I also am guided on this path to do less and receive more. And as I took some time off of creating videos for a few days so I could just tap into literally doing nothing except for what lights me up and what brings me joy and what is fun, and then had this literally like easily multi-7-figure business idea drop into my mind that now I am playing with and collaborating on and things like that. And it came from doing nothing except for what lit me up in the moment, which was going to the pool and listening to music and swimming and grounding and setting my intentions and being open to receive. and asking the question, if I could do anything, what would it be? If you knew anything would work out for you no matter what would it be? And so we are all shifting in this timeline into our highest divine reality. And it's not going to be what your mind's going to try to limit it. Your mind's going to try to limit it. So when you ask, for example, like, what is the highest expression for this incarnation? And you're open to receive and you set the intention for that. Your only job then is to stay in the frequency of fun and play and joy and be open to receiving what drops in and follow that thread. That's it. You're not going to be able to see it 10 moves ahead. You're not going to be able to figure it out. And if you try to figure it out, and if you try to approach this in the old way, in your habitual way, in the pattern that you're used to, you're going to be hit with resistance. It's going to feel off in your body, right? It's going to feel off. It's going to feel like resistance. It's going to feel like you're putting on a tight pair of shoes that you know are going to give you blisters. Because you're not meant to create in that way. You're not meant to create in boxes. You're not meant to compartmentalize this and try to make sense of it. You're not meant to try to figure this out. You're not meant to try to use logical, linear thinking to figure this out. You're just meant to be present in the moment with what is. So the power of the present moment is so key, and allow what comes in to be a point for you to discern alignment or not alignment. Let's really just get simple with this because it gets to be simple. And whatever you're creating gets to be fun. It gets to be easy. And it's your divine genius that wants to be birthed through you. It's going to feel easy. It's going to feel natural to you. It's going to feel innate to you. You're not going to have to work hard for this. You're not going to have to earn this. You're not going to have to figure this out. It's your divine genius, your unique magic. It was so fun to be able to touch on this in the last call that I was just on with Inside Embody the Empress. Fully claiming and owning this, whatever this is for you. It's not like a tangible thing. It's like a way you are innately designed to be. You are innately wired for this. You are divinely wired for this. It is easy for you. It is effortless for you. It lights you up. It's fun. It brings you joy. It's the energy of creation and play. This is what's going to light up your divine timeline with new downloads and things like that for you to take action on and for you to discern every step of the way in the now, alignment or not alignment, alignment or not alignment, alignment or not alignment. Oh, this feels fun. Check. We're going to go here. Oh, that feels fun. Check. We're going to go here. Oh, that feels off. Nope, we're not doing that. Okay. So alignment, alignment, alignment. It's either in alignment or it's not. It's either in alignment with fun and joy and play or it's not. And that's the only thing that you have to follow. And it's only in the now that you'll know. If you try to skip up to the mind and figure it out, you're going to get distorted with your frequency and your signal, and you're going to be giving static to the field, and you're going to be hodgepodging between timelines and feel like you're in this sacred void or sacred in between all the time because you haven't locked into what is really truly lighting you up and what you're available for with true conviction, and then following that, whatever that is. So if jumping up to the mind will cause it to feel heavy and will meet you with resistance, because what's wanting to be birthed through you is unique and divinely guided for you to bring through in only the way that you can. And it's not going to look like anybody else. It's not going to look like the old way you used to do things. There may be things that are part of your timeline that you have mastered along the way, or that you enjoy or that light you up and bring you a sense of fun and expansion. And those cooperative things, components, I like to say, are like little pieces of the puzzle. Even when you start to tap into your highest divine expression and you start to receive downloads that are really lighting you up, even that is just the tip of the iceberg. But that's all you're privy to. That's all you need to follow is what is the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that you can't see. But even that, whatever that is that comes through that lights you up, is just the beginning. It's just an unfolding. It's just a tip of the iceberg. It's still going to be so much more beyond what you ever thought possible. It's going to blow your mind, which is why I opened with you have no idea how good it's about to get for you as you move into your highest timeline and you lock in to what feels like fun, what feels like freedom, what feels like flow, and you follow your joy and you tap into that and you allow that to be your guiding light and you check in the now. You live from the now, you live here now, and it's either alignment or not alignment. And you stop giving your power to the mental body that's just rooted in what it's known. The mind is just rooted in what it's known, or your conditioned patterns, your habitual patterns, and your old way of doing things, just like the example that I shared with the metaphor of me driving always down the same road, like breaking through the habitual pattern and allowing yourself to be fully free to follow the fun and create in the flow whatever wants to be created. This is your cheat codes for creating your highest divine reality, and you're not going to figure it out. You're not going to figure it out. The mind can be used as a tool. Like there are things that pop in that require action, and your mind can help as a tool to get certain things done that feel so fun and so, so fun and so joyful in the moment to do. There's going to be things you might have to hit record on something. You might have to get a mic. You might have to get a podcast mic. You might have to learn how to upload videos. You might have to network or go somewhere or whatever. But the mind is only going to limit the expression, which is why it will feel like resistance and it'll feel heavy and you will feel blocked from doing it. So you're kind of in a sweet spot right now if you're resonating with this because you're not able to go back to your old timeline. That bridge has been burned. And you already know this. Like, you're not going back to your old timeline. You've mostly had like a series of sacred no's and a series of sacred yeses, and you've taken the initial quantum jump. And you know you can't go back. And now to really tap into the highest timeline available to you, which is you living your dream life and getting paid to be you, paid to be authentic, paid to have fun, paid to exist, paid to be free and in the flow, requires your authenticity. It requires your authentic expression. And that is expanding and evolving. So even what feels good today and feels fun today may not feel good and fun a week from now or a month from now. And you now have full creative control to pivot whenever you like, because you will only know when you get there if something feels aligned or not. And you're not locked into doing it any habitual way anymore. You get to play, you get to create in the moment, go with the flow, and have fun. And oftentimes you can be trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, so to speak, because that is all because the old way is all that you have known, the old way of doing things, the old way of marketing, the old way of selling, the old way of creating a business, the old way of getting visible, the old way of sharing your gift, the old way of sharing your medicine, whatever it is. That old way it feels like putting a round peg in a square hole. Maybe I have that backwards, square peg in a round hole. I don't know, but I think you get the point, right? It feels very restricting. Feels heavy. Feels like the analogy we were using on the embodied empress calls. It feels like you're moving into this expansiveness that you are, the spaciousness that you are to play and create. And anytime you try to go back to the old paradigm, the old way of doing things, or trying to figure it out from the mind, it's like you instantly like put yourself in this straitjacket where you feel super restricted. And that's because your soul came here to play. Your soul came here to have fun. Your soul came here to experience your divine reality and all of the soul desires that are part of your blueprint that you came here to experience. So those soul desires are kind of like your guideposts. Those are divinely guided desires. This is not egoic desires. So the way you can tell is you've likely been on this journey for a while, and a lot of like your old desires you may have resonated with in the past probably don't even resonate with you anymore because things that you thought you wanted 5 years ago or something like that don't even resonate, and it just doesn't resonate and doesn't feel good. But your soul desire versus your ego desire. Your ego desires will come in trying to fix or fill a void, trying to fix or fill a void. It's the best way to say it. Your soul desires will still be there at night when you're going to bed and you can't shake it. And it's the last thing you think about. Or it's that little thing that you keep getting pulled back to, even if you try to run from it or escape it. It's part of your soul blueprint. It's part of what your soul came to desire, that whisper. It's still there no matter what. And it's not there to fill a void. It's not there to fix something. It's there because it lights you up and feels like expansion. And it brings you a sense of joy. It brings you a sense of expansion. It's not coming from compensating energy to fill a void or fix something. It's not coming from energy that you need X, Y, or Z outside of you in order to feel whole, lovable, complete, or worthy. So your true soul core desires, I call it, your soul core desires, they are innately embedded in your blueprint of what you came to experience in this lifetime. And you can't shake it. And you may have even tried to shake it, right? Like many of you, I attract a lot that are here to make a big impact in the world. And you may have run from that for a long time. You may have not even wanted to do that, or you've tried to escape it in some way, but you know that there's something calling you. It's a calling. It's a calling. It's not manufactured in the mind. And that's another clear indicator. It's not manufactured in the mind. It's the deeper calling of your soul. It's pulling you, right? It's pulling you into certain directions. It pulls you back when you get sidetracked or off course. It pulls you back, even if you try to run from it or escape it for a lot of egoic reasons. It pulls you back. Whereas ego desires will be latching onto things outside of you in the external world of form to try to give you some false sense of safety, security, validation, or approval. So there's a big difference. You're here to live your soul desires. They are your guideposts, and those are the tip of the iceberg. It's so much bigger than what you can tap into. And this is the divine design. This is the infinite intelligence that runs the whole show and lives as you and breathes you. There's so much more privy. There's so much more than what's privy to you, to the you that, like when I say you, I mean not the separate sense of self, just there's so much more than what's privy to you in the sense of your human experience. But you already know you're not the human. You're a multidimensional being. This physical expression is within you. It's within the expansiveness that is you. And there are infinite number of timelines available, and you can choose and select which timeline you want to be on. And the energies support this right now as we collectively shift into a whole new dimension of frequency. It's all rooted in frequency, and what signal are you broadcasting? And it's just going to feel really restricting if you try to do it the old way or play in the old timeline or paradigm anymore. And so follow the whispers, because you're not going to be given the whole picture. Just accept the fact that you're not going to be given the whole picture, but you will be pinged with joy and fun and expansion. And you just need to follow that. And it doesn't hurt. I just shared this on the call to get intentional. And that will even turn into, and I say this word loosely, expectation, declaration, not expectation that you need something to happen outside of you in any certain way. You're not attached to outcomes, but you anchor into so much certainty that the thought of your highest timeline not collapsing into your reality becomes absurd. You expect miracles. You expect your timeline to unfold in the highest divinely orchestrated way that is beyond what your mind can even perceive and blow your mind. And you begin to expect that. When you can anchor into the frequency of your truth and your authenticity and anchor into certainty and such a deep level of knowing, fully honoring your unique magic and your divinely guided desires, your soul desires, you are unstoppable. It's inevitable. It's not even not possible because you are the creator of this. You get to choose, you get to select as the divine dreamer. You're the divine dreamer of this lifetime, of this life experience. You're the divine dreamer. But you're no longer playing from the separate sense of self with all of its limitations and lack and fixing and figuring out and all of this other stuff. You are now operating as the spaciousness that you are. And this vehicle, this vessel is a focusing mechanism that allows you to experience this reality. And now you get to choose what reality you are going to experience. You get to be in the world, but not of it. You're not playing the 3D operating system anymore. That operating system doesn't work. And you know how, like, like when your laptop forces you to do an upgrade eventually, like you just postpone it, you don't want to deal with it, you just keep hitting this coming up right now, you just keep hitting like maybe later, remind me tomorrow or whatnot, because your MacBook or whatever has a new operating system and you just don't want to deal with it or whatnot, right? So the old operating system is like obsolete for you, like you're being forced to reboot now and play from a brand new operating system, which feels completely backwards and 180 degrees completely in reverse from what your logical mind thinks or has been conditioned to believe. It's completely backwards. Um, One of the last things I'll share is like this, when you're living from this creator frequency, like this divine frequency, it's like I'm using my hands to motion this, so there's no real words for it, and this doesn't even do it justice, but it feels like when you're the separate sense of self, it feels like you're being pulled into duality. You're being pulled into the limited self. You're being pulled into the smaller self, and then you play the game from that old operating system. And there's a ton of problems and worries and dramas and traumas, and there's future projection, and there's past memory, and there's all these things capturing your attention, and you're just like a rag doll going back and forth. When you're operating from your creator frequency, you remain as the spacious awareness that you are, the presence that you are. And it almost feels as like, okay, you're no longer, you're staying back, so to speak, for lack of a better word. You're falling back and you're anchoring down into you're embodying this, right? Um and um it feels like I don't know how to explain this, but it feels like if you're looking out, and I'm using words that are very limiting here, so just bear with me because I'm just trying to describe the direct experience of it. It's like everything flips and then you're looking out from a new vantage point. So instead of it like looking out through your eyes as if you're the separate sense of self, it's like everything flips and does like a 180, and then you're viewing reality from a totally different vantage point from your creator frequency. This is not going to make sense. Don't even try to figure it out. I didn't even know if I wanted to share this because it's not something that can be figured out. It can only be directly experienced, and it can only be directly experienced in the now, in the present moment of now, where all of your power is. When you are operating from your limitlessness, your expansive spaciousness, which I know many of you can hear this and it will resonate on a deep level, but it's not meant to be figured out. It's kind of like everything gets flipped. It's like everything gets flipped and then you see, and now you're seeing through the eyes of the creator that you are. I don't know how much more I want to try to point to that because it was just coming through. So I know someone was meant to hear it. I trust what comes through. Um, yeah, that's what's coming through. I had to share this and I hope it resonated. So if it did, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know if you're still here with me. God, there was something else I wanted to share. If it pops in, I'll hit record again. Who knows? Maybe that will be today. Maybe that will be tomorrow. But yeah, I want to leave it there for now. So I hope this resonated with you. If it did, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.